What up, fight fans? It's the mighty mean Joe Frazier. You are now tuned in to Fist Physics, and today's topic is going to be Canelokhan. Amir Khan stepping up from welterweight, the welterweight division, to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. This fight is scheduled for May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, going down at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. There is a catch weight of 155 in place. There is no rehydration clause in place, just so you know. This is going to be a HBO Golden Boy Al Heyman collaboration, which these entities have not worked together successfully in quite a while. Right now, the estimated pay-per-view buys are looking like maybe 1 to 1.5 million, but could potentially generate even more with the UK and Muslim communities tuned in. Now, the first thing we're going to address before we even take a look at these fighters is going to be this catch weight of 155. There's a little discrepancy here on who actually wanted this catch weight of 155. Canelo is saying that he wanted to fight at 154, but Team Khan was pressing for the 155 at least so they could get a shot at the middleweight belt. Khan is saying that he would have preferred to fight at the catch weight that Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo at, which would have been 152 or even as high as 153, but he was completely shut down and forced to take the 155 catchweight. Now, we don't know if who's lying and who's telling the truth, but we do know that Al Heyman was not directly involved in this negotiation process. And I think that if Al was involved, maybe they would have got a little closer to the weight that Amir Khan should be fighting at. And just to remind you, Amir Khan, even though he might have trouble making 147, I mean, hasn't been proven yet, but he is definitely ranked at 147, and he's coming up to face a bigger opponent, and the catch weight should have been a little bit more in his favor. Canelo is the A side, so at the same time, it's hard to get the A side to bend at all. If you got a shot, you got to take it when it comes, when the opportunity presents itself. Now, taking a deeper look at Amir King Khan, he is currently ranked the number 5 welterweight in the world. He is the holder of the WBC silver welterweight belt as well as the WBA international welterweight belt. He also was formerly the mandatory for a rematch with undefeated champion Danny Garcia, who recently just moved up to 147 pounds, and after his last fight with Robert Guerrero, inherited the belt left when Floyd Mayweather retired. Amir Khan is 29 years of age. He's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach, 31 wins, 3 losses, 2 of those losses coming by way of knockout. He was knocked out by Danny Garcia and I believe Bradis Prescott, if I'm saying his name right. Amir has won his last 5 out of 6 fights, and he is a UK fighter. Now, in my opinion, his best weights were between 130 and 140 pounds when he was being trained by the Hall of Fame trainer, Freddie Roach. He was a lot more, I just saw a lot more power. He was taking guys apart when he was down at that weight. He's currently being trained by Virgil Hunter. For those of you who do not know, Virgil Hunter is the main trainer for Andre Ward, another pound-for-pound champion. And Virgil Hunter has proven himself to be a great, great trainer, a teacher, if you would. Now, looking at the positive sides about Khan, the pros about Khan, he's fast. He has fast hands, fast feet, and he's definitely going to be the fastest guy that Canelo's been in the ring with so far. He throws heavy combinations. He's always moving, never stationary, always on the bike. And his trainer, Virgil Hunter, is also the trainer of Alfredo Angulo, who fought Canelo a couple of years back. And so Virgil Hunter actually got to get a close, detailed look at Canelo and how he operates. So I really do think that Team Khan is going to come in on May 7th with a great game plan. But the problem's going to be executing a perfect game plan. Can Khan execute a perfect game plan once it's laid out by Virgil Hunter? Now, in my opinion, Khan is going to have to look to dictate the pace, not overcommit. Don't stand in the pocket and trade with this kid. at all costs. He should instead be looking to outpoint and outbox Canelo for at least 8 to 10 rounds. Mind you, this is going down at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and at this point, Las Vegas is Canelo's backyard. It's going to be very hard to get a decision in this kid's backyard. On the negative side, I really do feel like a lot of fights kind of stayed in the pocket way too long. But that moves on to my second point, which is the fact that Khan's style seems to be completely unsustainable. Now, the issue could be maybe Khan actually has outgrown 147 pounds, and he's sweating and squeezing down to make this weight, and so he's very drained during these fights. I mean, that's definitely one issue or situation that could be creating the exhaustion. I mean, the last couple of fights, Luis Collazo and I think Chris Algieri, Khan fought. I can't, I don't have it written down in front of me, but I do believe that Amir came in at 160. So I mean that might explain why he's running out of gas, because he's sweating down to make this weight. Now, when this fight was originally made, a lot of people were actually referring to Amir Khan when he fought Marcos Mondana maybe about 5 years ago, because of how sensational Khan looked out the gate. He came out fast. He put Marcos down with a body shot early in the first round. But a lot of people do not discuss what happened for the rest of that fight, which is the fact that Marcos Mondana got up off the canvas. He weathered the storm. He made it to the mid-rounds. And soon he has Khan in trouble. He's able to land a series of overhand rights, which puts Khan in deep, deep trouble. Now, also understand that this is a Marcos Mondana that was still a wild man. This is before he hooked up with the trainer Robert Garcia, who, in my opinion, has actually improved greatly on Marcos' technique. So this is back when Marcos had a crazy, weird overhand right, and it really wasn't too technically sound, but he was able to land, and we have to keep that in view when we're talking about this fight. Just a quick look at Amir's resume. I do think he's fought more name fighters than Saul Canelo Alvarez, fighting guys like Devin Alexander, Luis Collazo, Paul Malignaggi, Zab Judah. These are just to name a few champions that Amir's taken out. Now, just real quick, we're just going to really talk about the undercard. The undercard originally was supposed to be Lucas Matisse taking on Mauricio Herrera, but Lucas has actually pulled out due to injury. And there was some rumors that we were going to be able to see Luis King Khan Ortiz, the great Cuban boxer, but that's still kind of up in the air as far as I know right now. I do feel that Saddam Ali versus Jesse Vargas should have actually been on this undercard, but what you're going to do is too late now. That fight is gone and passed already. Now we're going to take a look at Canelo once again. Canelo's 25 years of age. Record is 46-1-1. He's standing at 5'9" with a 70.5 inch reach. Now, there's some discrepancy to me in the size difference here. It's actually saying that Canelo's about an inch taller than Amir, but every photo that I see, every video clip that I see of these guys together, it seems more like Amir Khan is maybe 1.5 to 2 inches taller than Canelo, and it seems like Canelo was much wider than Amir Khan. So I don't know where these heights came from. I actually just a few minutes ago saw an interview with Amir Khan where Amir Khan says the same exact thing. Canelo looks really heavy, looks really wide, but he can definitely see that he has about a 2-inch reach advantage on the kid, or height advantage on the kid. And he's going to only have about a 1/2 inch reach advantage over Saul. Now, just looking at some of Saul's more notable fights, he has the loss to Floyd Mayweather, but who doesn't lose to Floyd Mayweather? It's Floyd Mayweather, so we can't count that against him. Last year, 2015, he actually defeated Miguel Cotto, a future Hall of Famer, by unanimous decision. He knocked out James Kirkland before that, and he has some good wins against Alfredo Angulo and Arislandi Lara, which a lot of people feel like Saul lost that, but you can't win a fight against the A-side fighter when you're running away. It's very difficult to do that in the kid's backyard when he's the favorite, and nobody likes you. So yeah, I know that people bring that argument up about Laura, but it was Canelo's fight, man. He's the champ. We got to respect it. You're gonna have to beat the champ to get that belt. Now on Canelo's positive side, we're gonna start off there first. And I actually saw a couple of interviews where a lot of people, it's almost like they don't watch Canelo. They don't know who Canelo is and what he can do. The only thing that they keep in mind is that he's big and he's strong. That's the only thing that I hear people saying. Oh, well, Canelo's big, he's strong, hits pretty hard. But here are a little couple of things that I picked up about Canelo, and I've been watching Canelo since he turned pro at about, 15, 16. I've really kept my eye on Canelo. I did feel like he was a completely protected fighter. I've been watching Canelo since he was rolling the shoulder and walking around trying to imitate Floyd, which he no longer really does. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the positive sides of Canelo going into this fight. I think Canelo has great timing. When I watched the Cotto fight, and Cotto was a Hall of Famer, or a future Hall of Famer who's been in there with a lot of big names, a lot of high-level competition, and even though Canelo was much, much heavier than Cotto, surprisingly, he was able to time Cotto very well and land some great counter shots, as well as slip some shots on the inside in close quarters. And I was very impressed by that because Canelo was so damn big. So for him to be moving so subtly inside the pocket the way that he does, I was very impressed. And right there, I had to say something about Canelo too, was it seems that Canelo fights to the level of the competition in front of him. So all of this time we've been looking at him, oh yeah, he looks okay in this fight, he looks okay in that fight. I'm going to say Canelo looks great depending on who he's in the ring with. If you came to fight, you want to make a fight with this kid, he's coming to get you. Um, Counter shots. He lands some tremendously heavy counter shots and he does it well. Accuracy. I don't see Canelo wasting too many punches. A lot of times people are saying, "Oh, he's tiring out and he has nothing left in the tank." At the same time, if the opportunity is not there, if the window's not open, he's not throwing any punches. So if you're constantly moving and dancing around and you're not going to stand and trade with the kid, or you're not going to at least pop shots with the kid, then you're not giving him the opportunity to throw counter shots, and he's just going to literally follow you around. It's going to be a boring round. Power. Canelo can KO guys with either hand, and in my opinion, he has a much better left hook than Danny Garcia, a much better overhand right than Marcos Mondana, a better right hook than Bradis Prescott. He rolls the shoulder and throws that straight right like he's Floyd. And those are some key things because I really do think Amir is going to be in trouble when we get to the late rounds. Canelo's going to have the weight advantage. We all know that. He's going to be able to absorb all of those combinations that Amir is going to be throwing early. I really do think that if Khan is not careful, and to me it seems like whenever Khan pivots out of the pocket, he leaves himself open for an overhand right. I picked that up against Chris Algieri and a whole bunch of other fighters, and I'm pretty sure the team Canelo might actually know this already too. So he's going to have to really watch out for that overhand right because it seems like that's just his flaw. Now, going into the negative side of Canelo can be frustrated if you can dance around and not really engage him. It almost seems like at points and times he loses interest completely in the fight because you're not making the fight happen. Another thing is, and this is where the catchweight would have actually came into play, Canelo completely drains himself to make the weight that he's fighting at. And he's been fighting at 155 for quite a while. And Golden Boy keeps on telling everybody, oh, no, the kid's not that heavy, the kid's not that heavy, the kid's not that heavy. I'm going to tell you something right now. When the weigh-in comes around this time, take a good look at Saul. Saul is pale like a ghost. He has the blisters all over his mouth. And these are telltale signs of completely dehydrating one's body. it's not affecting Canelo yet. Why? Because he's still young enough that he can bounce back. So I don't think that this is really going to affect him either way, because I still think his body's young enough that it can handle this type of stress and still perform at the high level that he needs it to. Now, my final prediction for this fight is going to actually be Khan winning the early rounds. I see Khan winning 4 to almost 5 rounds easily, as Canelo is typically a slow starter anyway. But once we get to the mid rounds and his pace starts to drop a little bit, I see Canelo landing the left hook. I see Canelo landing the straight right, coming straight down the pike. And I do think that Canelo wins this fight by knockout at the end of May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And hopefully this will be a great build-up and a great hype for him taking on Triple G sometime late in 2017. Because let's just face it, folks. You're not going to see Saul Canelo Alvarez and Triple G anytime 2016. And that's a wise move. If I was the manager of Saul Canelo Alvarez, a 25-year-old kid, and we got a 32, 33-year-old monster kind of hiding in the shadows, I'm going to wait till that 33-year-old is maybe 35, 36, 37. I'm going to wait until he's completely on the decline in order to put my kid in there with him. Or at least wait till my kid is in his prime, and then we can talk about it. Well, all right, folks. You heard it first right here, Fist Physics. Canelo by knockout. Amir winning the first 4. Definite, I got him winning the first 4. Canelo's just a slow starter, and I don't see him changing that anytime soon. Not for Amir. But I do think that Amir's chin will get tapped and he will go down. This is going to be the biggest, strongest, quickest puncher that Amir's been in the ring with. So I'm looking forward to it, folks. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this one. Hopefully I'll be able to make more videos in the future. I've just been a little sidetracked. All right, folks. AOV Boxing, the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier, Fist Physics. We out.
What's your prediction for the fight, then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.